go. I'm Kurt Roskopf. I'm your ambassador with the Disability Channel, showcasing abilities television by and with people with disabilities and veterans. Again, I'm Kurt Roskopf hosting this, your TDC Today Show USA. Even though we've got it down with USA, we're getting it down with everyone around the world. And we are pleased, proud, and privileged to be working with our headquarters, where it's founded and operated out of Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And so we are off to the races, a little bit of a chance to do disability advocacy with television and with all of our live streaming, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, LinkedIn Live. We are live. And so we are enjoying the journey. And this is a premise founded upon the observation in the television industry that we sure could be doing a whole lot more, getting people with disabilities and veterans involved in the television industry, operating for over a decade long. And we are enjoying our partnerships with Transforming Media Network, the PAC channel, with Nonprofit TV, Wingate Studios, and PAC. I think I mentioned PAC channel already. So we have a lot of interest in this work, in making inclusive hiring efforts, and with our digital ventures program, teaching people the way to be involved in TV, radio, podcasting, public speaking, helpful tips, tricks, and techniques for social media, marketing, for digital presence, creating computer graphics, editing, video, and audio. So much to offer here. And so here we are in the show business. There's no business like show business, like any.
There's no business like show business, like no business I know. Everything about it is appealing.
There we go. So this is audience participation, folks. And we're going to turn it over for the OMG EMG moment. EMG is the initials of Emily. So Emily, take it away, HMP Ambassador. What you got, Emily? Let's get the show rolling.
So we have a special guest on with us today, who we met through the Happy Neighborhood Project, who is out in Salt Lake City, Utah, and is all about helping people, especially women, with autoimmune disorders and essential oils. So I'm going to hand it over to Anne-Laura to and briefly introduce yourself.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So like Emily said, my name is Anna-Laura Brown. I specialize in helping especially women with autoimmune disorders. A lot of people don't realize that about 80% of the diagnoses of autoimmune disorders are women. So, of course, that means the other 20% are men. So there are men out there that have autoimmune disorders, but it is predominantly women. And helping them to not just survive, but to actually thrive. Because what actually happens when a lot of women get diagnosed with an autoimmune disorder is, at least in the beginning, it completely throws them for a loop. Sometimes it's been quite a journey to get that diagnosis. And so they're going to be, maybe a little bit relieved at the same time, because they actually finally know what's going on. They finally understand why they feel so sick and tired and have no energy all the time. And they finally understand the reasoning behind all their symptoms. But at the same time, autoimmune disorders can be very, very tricky to have to live with and to have to heal. And so, there can be quite a bit involved. And of course, it also depends on which autoimmune disorder you are talking about, as there's a wide gamut of them. Personally, I have Hashimoto's, which is the autoimmune disorder of the thyroid. So that is the one that I am the most familiar with. But I do also host a podcast called Autoimmune Rehab that is on iTunes, Spotify, all the places you get podcasts, and as well as on my website at autoimmunerehab.com. And on that podcast, I have interviewed people with a lot of other autoimmune disorders as well. So, we cover the wide gamut of different stories to provide, as my little business tagline is, if you will, transform health and inspire hope in you.
Excellent stuff, Anna Laura. Thanks for bringing that forth. Thanks for everything you do. And thanks for sharing your journey, your lived experience. We also have here the voice of Patty from Phoenix, our friend from Phoenix, Patty. Patty, question for you at the moment is, do you know anyone with an autoimmune disorder?
I've met them before, but no, not at this point. I don't.
All right. So, Patty, are you pretty well aware of the background? And does it sound like you've heard a little bit before what Anna Laura was sharing? What is your background with the topic of autoimmune disorders, Patty?
Well, I know that the to get into politics right away, I know that there are a lot of I don't know what were disease conditions, whatever you want to call them, that the government knows what causes them and how to work with them, and this is part of the picture. But but there are solutions, and the government chooses to ignore. Like, case in point would be muscular dystrophy. We already know what causes muscular dystrophy and what to do about it, but the government chooses not to. Don't ask me why. There's more money involved in not coming up with these solutions than with actually putting them into practice. If that makes any sense, it doesn't, but that's what's happening.
Well, it doesn't make sense, but but you're absolutely right in the nose. And I would argue that you do know people with autoimmune disorders. They maybe just don't advertise themselves as such.
Okay. Fair enough.
All right, Emily, what is your background with autoimmune diseases, autoimmune disorders? Everything that Laura brings forward. What has your life done to touch this topic for you that you're aware of what's going on in the community of people with autoimmune diseases and disorders?
I have family members who have autoimmune diseases. I have a couple autoimmune diseases myself, and I have family members who have either the same ones I do or a couple others.
Okay, Kurt, there's your answer.
Please expound, Patty. I kind of get the idea there's an answer in there, but explain more. What is the answer you're talking about?
You had asked me if I know somebody who has autoimmune disorder, and at the time I couldn't think of anybody, but now that Emily has spoken up, I changed my response, and my response is yes, I do know at least one person who has it.
All right, very good. This story keeps unfolding, unpacking, and now we have Mariana Waikiki coming joining us. We have the voice of Mariana on with us. Marianne, we're on the topic of autoimmune diseases, autoimmune disorders. Marianne, do you know anybody with autoimmune disease or autoimmune disorder?
Aloha, Kurt. Can you hear me?
We can hear you all the way from Mexico.
All right. Well, I'm sure I've had people that I worked with. I used to be a case manager at a mental health agency, and I was specialized in working with the deaf. So I can't, I'm sure I have had clients or people or family members who have had some sort of autoimmune disorders. So, yeah. So I'm in Mexico. I'm overcoming an eye injury. And so I'm feeling how it is to be disabled with a visual impairment now. So, but I will overcome it. It was just a little slip and fall. And it's a little cosmetic change, but we'll be back in business in a month. You know how we heal. And I'm listening to a lot of solfeggio frequencies on YouTube on my television here in my apartment. So there's all different types of frequencies to raise your vibrations. And there's also ones for autoimmune disease also. So I encourage anyone to listen to them. They're amazing. They help with detoxing, your liver, your kidneys, your pancreas. There's blood flow. There's ones for pain relief. And I found out too, there's a right frequency for bruises. So I was listening to that. And wow, what an alarming sound that is to listen to. But you can kind of see the vibrations, and you can, feel the benefits of your health. And also for free on YouTube, there's various Reiki masters who are offering distance Reiki, and they can open up your chakras and auras, and focus on certain areas or financial blockages, mental blockages, removing attachment. So all these things can benefit each and every one of us. And there's also on YouTube, they have the antivirus frequency, coronavirus. We're getting a rise over here again in Mexico, and Easter's coming. And we're expected to have 120,000 people here in San Carlos, Mexico. So I'm just relaxing because I hope to go sailing the week of Easter so that we can get off, get away, and kind of do some sailing and get some salt water and positive ions to us, because it's been chilly and windy here. So we just been laying low here in Mexico. Back to you, Kurt.
All right. So way to live it up with us today, bringing the fiesta to the show. All right. Thank you very much. So Anna Laura, we're hearing about sailing. Have you ever done any sailing, Anna Laura?
You know what? I haven't. It sounds like it would be fun, but I live in Utah and I'm surrounded by mountains. And I have been on vacations before, of course, to places that have beaches and things like that. But unfortunately, sailing is really not something that I have ever done. But it sounds like it would be nice and fun and healing. I know the last time I went to a beach was last October. I went to Charleston, South Carolina on a trip and spent a bunch of time walking on the beach and jumping in the waves. And I know it was very therapeutic and very healing to spend that time in the water and the salt and squishing my feet in the sand. It felt amazing.
Absolutely. Hey, Patty, how about you? When's the last time you were out by the sand and, feeling that on your feet and up by the water and being able to splash around? Patty, are you a water lover?
When I was in Florida. Yeah. I learned something very interesting the other day, Kurt. Yeah, I know you're into water skiing. There are places in Arizona that have water skiing.
It's a thing. Absolutely. Yeah, we go on to usawaterski.org, and yeah, we can find some of our counterparts down there, find other members of USA Water Ski and Wake Sports. And so, yeah, I hear about that. I hear what they're doing down there. They're part of
water skiing is actually a pretty big thing here in Utah too. You wouldn't realize it, but there's a couple of fairly large lakes that you can actually go water skiing on. So I actually have been water skiing.
Nice. Well, we'll have to get together sometime, Anna Laura. And,
I'm not very good at it, though. It's been a long time since the last time I went. I don't own a boat, so
That's right. We'll take care of that. We'll
Kurt,
get the line, we'll get the boat, and away you go.
Yeah, well, Kurt, I want to let you know it's been cold and windy out for those boaters, and I was fortunate to get a very nice, secure apartment here, affordable. I got hot water and everything, and I have a pool right outside my door, but it's still too cold to go swimming. And I just pulled out my sailing, my fall weather gear, my snow jacket and stuff to go, because we're going to need that when we go sailing, because it's windy down here in this bay, and it's in San Carlos Bay Marina, and the spring breakers are coming, and the fishing boats are going to be going, so it's going to be very lively here. So looking forward to that. So it is chilly here, so I know you guys are up there in Wisconsin. I'm a former Michigander, and I kind of don't miss that snow. And a lot of the Canadian friends that I met here that come down here for the winter are packing their trailers to head back so that they can enjoy their water sports up in Vancouver and all these different places. And I met a lot of great sailors here, transients that came down here, and actually I got them to stay at this apartment complex, and it was great fun to interact with them and talk about their stories. And it actually went with another Canadian guy to look at a sailboat in the boatyard. So I've been busy, and it's been great fun learning, being in a foreign country and the different things you have to do with the regulations down here. And a Canadian friend wanted to buy a boat, and the boat was registered in Los Angeles, and oh my gosh, and trying to pay for the boat. What a great learning experience. And I have a great neighbor who is a retired attorney. So it's been great to kind of witness them, negotiating and speaking in Spanish, and we don't know Spanish, and kind of seeing all that. And, it's been a really good learning experience this past couple of weeks with these amazing Canadian people. So back to you, Kurt.
All right, here we go. From Mexico to Canada, we're covering it all. Out to Utah, we're here in Wisconsin and Madison, headquartered out of Toronto. We got Patty from Phoenix, so we're kind of spritzed all over the place with this show. Good stuff. Anna Laura, if you could please tell us a little bit more about your show, your podcast, your YouTube channel. How do our viewers and listeners and Patty and Marianne and Emily, how do we all get on your show and give you the follows and listen? And
for sure, absolutely.
You find
you
any
can search in iTunes or anywhere else that you would listen to podcasts. It's on Spotify. I believe it's on the Google Play, all those things under Autoimmune Rehab. Also, all the episodes are stored on a page on my blog website under autoimmunerehab.com as well. And I rotate between episodes where I come on and share a specific topic and episodes where I have a guest. So, for example, today's episode that just came out is a little bit of a different one. I actually interviewed a young woman who was not born deaf, but became deaf later at the age of 4, and she shares her journey about getting a surprise diagnosis, if you will. And she shares some different ways to advocate for yourself, talking about some of the different challenges that can come up when you all of a sudden are surprised with some kind of a diagnosis, and some different things to overcome that on that episode. And then I have all kinds of different episodes. I've interviewed a couple different people with MS. I interviewed a mom of a son with Crohn's disease. I have interviewed a couple of other people with Hashimoto's and thyroid disorders, also a couple of celiacs, and some different professionals. So a lady who runs a studio where she specializes in helping people stretch to relieve their pain as an alternative to physical therapy. Also had a lady who's a feng shui master come on and do an interview. So you get the idea. We run the gamut of all different kinds of either professionals or people who have a story to share about their journey through their autoimmune healing. So I try to be pretty interesting, pretty interactive, give people a wide variety of different content and things that they can listen to and hopefully benefit from to help improve their healing.
So as far as you mentioning the guests you've had, are you looking for referrals of potentially more guests for your shows?
Yes, I would love to have some of those for sure. A couple things I haven't done yet is I haven't had a chiropractor on my show yet. I also haven't had there's, I'm sure, other autoimmune conditions. Like I haven't had anybody who has lupus on my show yet, so that would be a good one. I also haven't interviewed any men yet. So, if we know a man that has an autoimmune condition that would like to come on and share their unique story of what it's like to have an autoimmune condition as a man, that would also probably be a pretty interesting guest for me to have as well.
All right. So Marianne, what do you think? You know anybody to send to Anna Laura? Who do you know, Marianne, that might fall into this autoimmune disorder topic to be on the show? Or people in the service area that might be people?
Well, I can tell you my life experience in 2005, 2007, I think it was. I was sitting in a hotel lobby and the manager accidentally drove her SUV through the hotel lobby behind me. So I suffered from neck, back, broken ankle, and a hearing loss. And I have ongoing episodes of vertigo, and using positive words of overcoming and working on my hearing health. And I have had several chiropractic experiences and ongoing chiropractic. So, I've had them in California. I had two chiropractors, Dr. Raphael Retner out of San Francisco and Dr. Kim Jameson, who is in Sunnyvale, who I believe relocated to Oregon. The two of them worked on me, and some of my hearing did come back. So she did an ART, active release technique, for an upper adjustment. And I highly recommend that to anybody. And even in the medical field, and pilots who go get their reviews, she told me that when a person gets a chiropractic treatment, their vision improves, because it's just all kind of misplaced energy and stuck or whatever, your spine and your back and all that. So mine has always been my upper cervical and on my left side. And in Hawaii, when I relocated there, I interpreted for a deaf man for over a decade, who experienced thyroid problems. And he just got a job at SeaWorld in San Diego and became a veterinary assistant. So there's positive things that we can do with this disability, or differences, is what we heard on one of your other shows, Kurt, persons with differences. And my sailing instructor was a chiropractor, and he married an instructor from one of the clinics who taught acupuncture. So I was really blessed to have them actually work on me after from sailing or just having the vertigo reappear. And he referred me to a Dr. Joe Brewer out of Honolulu, Hawaii, who specializes in upper cervical. So I went to him, and he was amazing. And for the last year, since I've left Hawaii, I really haven't experienced vertigo like I did. And it was really light movement on my neck and back. It wasn't any hard twisting or anything. So he could be an opportunity to contact Dr. Joe Brewer. I can give you that information out of Honolulu, and I highly recommend him. And I was here in Mexico. So the beginning of the year, I went and did my medical. I went and got a dental here, and cleanings are very, very inexpensive here, like $15. And
Wow.
there's a place here that, well, actually Friday I was looking, and I went to go get a free eye exam, and I didn't bring my glasses, and then I slipped and fell up by my pool. So I injured my eye right now. But anyway, kind of like the universe tricking you. But anyway, I did meet with Dr. Mike here, just for a regular routine lab work, and he has a chiropractor. So I met with him, and he had a Mexican interpreter for me. So not only that, I'm using an interpreter, as I was an interpreter for the deaf. So he did an amazing job. He took a scarf, and he it was like a traction. And so they were, I'm a really good patient, and I'm funny. So I was joking around, like I felt like a piñata, and then I became a salsa dancer. And since then, I haven't had sciatica, which kept me up in the night, and just realigning my back and my neck. And everybody needs that. It's kind of like an oil change. We're out of alignment, and you need to get your body back into alignment. Your organs, your chakras, all these things can benefit each and every one of us. So I highly recommend that. So Dr. Joe Brewer out of Honolulu, if he's available. I've known he's done other things. I'm not sure if he'd be available. I'm not sure where they're at. But there are amazing chiropractors, and I highly recommend it. And again, some of my hearing did come back from chiropractic treatment. My vision has improved. I can tell when my eyes are getting blurry. I only wear reading glasses. But when I feel off, or I haven't gone for like 6 months, and I get a chiropractic treatment, aha, boom, I have clear vision. I'm not, squinting and reading and having a challenge like I used to. So again, I highly recommend chiropractor. So that's my gift to you of you can give me your email information and reach out, and we can share the good news about all this. And I'm working on my books, the Acts of Kindness series. The books are written for animation movies with sign language characters and soundtrack by Lucy and the Perfect Wave. And we're in the process of transferring over my website, so it's not up right now. And Trevor Gibbs out of Orlando is helping me. We're transferring over with Charity Revolution.
Yes.
And so it's all good stuff that we're doing. And Trevor actually makes sure his websites are ADA compliant, meaning that a person with a hearing loss or a visual person or with a disability differences now that we use are making sure that it's able to read, that there's no amazing sounds or clicking or all these things. And all businesses are responsible to make sure their websites are ADA compliant. If not, they could receive up to a fine up to $75,000. So it's been a great opportunity to meet all these people and helping keeping the vision and the mission going. And Emily, I'm looking forward to talking with Pastor Reed and Sunflower Grant Writer. So please let me know when my appointments are. And these are just amazing people again that we met through Happy Neighborhood Projects. Thank you so much, Kurt. Back to you.
All right, everybody. So that's going to do it for this episode of TDC Today Show USA. Thank you very much, Patty, Marianne, Anna, Laura. So all three of you are welcome to stick with me after closing this episode. We're going to be doing some more live streaming and recording after we close here. But for right now, we're going to close up this episode. Again, my name is Kurt Roskopf. Thank you, Emily, for all of your work co-hosting and as a podcast and television production engineers. So with that, we're going to say goodbye. And if you did have anything you need to reach me for, you can reach me, Kurt, K-U-R-T, at projectdiehard.org. And you can also call and text me, 262-372-1754. And please make sure to visit the website, thedisabilitychannel.ca.